2020 was a very odd storm chasing year for me. This video is a chronological recap of my season, and it starts off in March. The Storm Prediction Center issued a rare, moderate risk with a 15% chance of significant tornadoes. In the morning, I made my usual forecast and identified two possible targets. One was near Rockford, and the other was near Dodgeville. We ended up committing to the Dodgeville target as supercells were already producing tornadoes in Iowa, but when we got there, we were met with gray skies, meaning we were missing a key ingredient: instability. It also looked like storms weren't going to be arriving until after dark, meaning getting up-close footage would be extremely dangerous. So we decided to call the chase and head back home. The day wasn't a total failure though. We spotted an albino deer on the way back home, sitting near the side of the road. It's unusual to see such a high risk this early on in the season, so I was optimistic this could be a good sign of things to come. I eventually saw my first good storm of the year on April 7th. This storm is one of the rarest types of thunderstorms known as a supercell, and they contain heavily rotating updrafts. This storm wouldn't produce a tornado, but it would dump golf ball-sized hailstones without any issues. A few days later on April 20th, my first squall of the year would come through. This storm was very odd. It was incredibly small, but packed a lot of power. After these two April events, there was almost a month of no storms, until May 23rd. The Storm Prediction Center issued an enhanced risk with a 10% chance of tornadoes. A check of the mesoscale analysis confirmed that most of the ingredients for tornadoes were in place, and at 12:35 I got the confirmation that I needed.
The National Weather Service has issued Tornado Watch number 207, effective until 8 p.m.
The Storm Prediction Center issued a tornado watch with a high risk of tornadoes. A couple hours after this watch was issued, I was in pursuit of the supercells that were going to be near Beloit, Wisconsin.
The storm still has a tornado warning on it, and it's recycling again, so it may be trying to put down a tornado again. Looks like a wall cloud, sort of.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, look at that. Lightning. That is a mean storm. We are on a collision course with this beast.
Is there a rain wrap in there?
Might be rain wrapped.
There's another one that's right on the same path. Like we'll be right in. There's another one behind it.
I know. We can sit and wait for that one. I'm gonna shuffle that. You want to stop on top of this hill?
There's cars coming in rather.
Yep, right here. Perfect. Look at the structure on this thing. Unbelievable. Absolute mothership.
This is one of the best storm chase days I've ever had. Two incredibly photogenic supercells with high, mothership-like bases hovered across the state. It's uncommon to see structure like this up here in Wisconsin, and it wasn't even the peak of my state's storm season. On the evening of June 2nd, I would see my second squall of the year.
There it is. All that lightning in there.
The storm's lightning activity allowed for beautiful photos and an amazing time-lapse. Not to mention, this storm was responsible for one of the funniest storm reports I've seen. Over the next few weeks, the only storms that occurred were pulse storms. These storms only last 30 to 40 minutes, which is how they got their name. They're also sometimes referred to as popcorn storms, or single-celled storms. On the morning of June 29th, the Storm Prediction Center issued a marginal risk for severe weather. It appeared there wasn't going to be any type of photogenic storm activity. Later on, a large cluster of pulse storms was beginning to converge, and before long, a fat squall line was slowly making its way across the state. Because of my doubts of the day's storm modes, I had to scramble to get all my cameras ready and get in its path.
Alrighty, we are front of our storm. Down there you can see a shelf cloud. Oh my good God, look at this thing. Whoa, big bolt down there.
This is one of the most fascinating shelf clouds I've ever seen. It almost looked like an old decaying shelf cloud was being swallowed by a new one.
Unreal. Look at that structure.
July wasn't much of an improvement over June. On June 9th, there was a beautifully sculpted, high precipitation squall line that would rip its way across the state, but I didn't have any of my cameras set up when I was in its path. But a few days later, on July 14th, a beautiful lightning storm would make up for my loss. And the next day, I had a close call with another lightning storm.
That was a close one.
I was still hoping to get some type of photogenic thunderstorm before the end of the season, and on July 26th, I got my wish. On August 27th, I saw an incredible lightning storm. And on August 28th, Mother Nature would put on her grand finale display for the season.
The storm looks awfully supercellular.
Thunderstorms is capable of producing tornadoes and widespread significant wind damage. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building.
Radar indicated it's not on the ground, at least that we can see. Wow, look at that thing. That's a beast. Yeah. Just find somewhere.
Should turn here?
Yes, turn in there, turn in there. Look at that beast. Holy cow, that's incredible. Alright, stop here.
Well, I was gonna pull up that road.
Okay, do that. Alright, I'm gonna get ready to time lapse. Yeah, we're right in the path. Perfect. Alright, let's get this sucker. The area of this storm where a tornado could touch down is about to run over our current location, meaning we have to take our escape route and quickly get out of its path.
We gotta go.
Where?
We're too close. We gotta go.
Which way? That way? Oh, that was close. Get in here.
Go,
You sure it's not down there?
Yes, I'm sure.
It's right there, huh?
Yep, you'll be right there. It's gonna be behind us.
Here's the above.
Got it. We are taking our escape route. We are in the way of this thing. We're not in a safe spot. Alright, go. Let's get out of the way. Just get out.
very back of the range.
After the rotation cleared the road, we turned around to see if we could spot any tornado damage. We weren't able to find any evidence of tornado damage where the rotation crossed the road, but we did spot damage caused by straight-line winds. The 2020 storm season was very odd. Most activity happened in April and August, outside of the typical June and July when I normally expect severe weather. But I have hopes that the 2021 storm season will be a big improvement.